Good morning, I'm Mike, and this is Herons on the Fly. Well, we're getting ready here in a few days to take off and on our trip this summer. And of course, before we go, we always want to prep for all sorts of things, whether it's water systems or fly fishing or whatever it is. And this morning, I'm going to do something that's really important, and that's take care of my fly lines, because we're going to start with 2 months on the Missouri and then 10 days on the Madison, which is going to be really neat. So we're going to have a good time with that, but we need to prep our fly lines. Now, you may be a beginner, you may be an intermediate, you may have had the same fly line for years, and you might want to change up, but it's really confusing because there are so many different fly lines available these days. When I first started fly fishing, you had, believe it or not, you had silk lines and bamboo rods, and you had Cortland 444, and there wasn't a whole lot else out there at that time. Well, now you can walk into a fly shop and they have a whole wall full of fly fishing lines. They have sinking lines, sink tip lines, they have double taper floating lines, they have weight forward lines, they have all the intermediate lines, running lines, all these different lines that you have. And so we're gonna take the mystery out of some of this, and we're gonna show you how to take care of your fly lines, because fly lines should last, if you take care of them, up to about 10 years. That's if you take care of them. If you don't, you might get a few years out of them, and then you're going to have to change them again. Because fly lines, especially the new lines, they have the potential that they can collect dirt, they get heavy, and then they don't float anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to clean them, how to dress them, and that way your fly lines will last you a long period of time. I mean, I have fly lines in my quiver that are 15 years old, but that's because I've always taken care of them. First thing I'm going to show you is when you buy a new fly line, in the box, the fly line comes on a little spool. You want to save this because you don't want to keep your line on your reel, because that is much smaller. So like this reel, it doesn't have any line on it, and I've taken that line off and I've put it on one of the little spools that you get to save it, and you just loosely wrap it on the spool. That way your line doesn't get kinked or take a set, and it's the best way to store your line through the seasons. Now, all these reels, I've taken the line off and put them on off of the spools that they came on, and put them on the reels. Now, what I do with that is some lines have a loop on both ends, and you can just put tie it onto your reel, onto the Dacron, because it comes with, you put Dacron on it, 20-pound Dacron or 30-pound Dacron, and you're going to tie it on there either with a loop knot, or you're going to use a nail knot. If you're going to use a nail knot, one of these little tools that you can get, this one is an Orvis tool, but they're made by a bunch of different manufacturers, and you can tie a nail knot using this, and you can see how to tie that online. It's a little challenging, but it's a lot of fun. So you can tie that on there. Okay, now you got your line on the reel. Now, one of the things that you want to do is you want to take your line, and you're going to want to make sure it's clean and that you've dressed it. And so what we do is we're going to take and we're going to pull the line off, and we'll pull that line off and put it in a bucket. Okay, now that we've got all our fly line off our reel, but it's still connected by the Dacron, we're going to take some Dawn dishwashing soap. Now, the reason why I use Dawn is it cleans not only the dirt off, but if there's any oil or anything like that on the line, it'll take care of that. Now, when you put this in, all you need is a couple of drops. You don't need a lot, and you don't need a lot of water. Then just take your hose, or if you're at a sink, you can do this. And just, okay, we've put about an inch of water in our bucket. All you're going to do is you're going to take and swish the line around a little bit, get it wet, and you just want to agitate it a little bit so that the dirt can get off, can be penetrated by the water and the soap, and that's all you need to do. And it doesn't take long. And get a clean towel and take that line, pull it through. As you can see, all this dirt right here, right here, right here, all this came off the line when I pulled the line through the towel. It definitely gets dirty, and this is definitely something you need to do, and this will help keep your lines in working order, working condition for years to come. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take Rio makes a little fly line cleaning kit. It's a little dressing. It keeps your lines supple, and it isn't very expensive. And you can buy it. It's just a little squirt tube here, and all we need to do is we just take our clean towel or a paper towel, and it comes with actually little papers on there. And what we're going to do is we're going to squirt a little bit on the towel, and you don't need much because you just don't need much. And we're going to go up here to the beginning of our fly line, and we'll squeeze that on the towel a little bit, get it in the towel. And now, and all we're going to do is we're going to pull this fly line through the towel. We want to do sort of a finish cleaning and also get a coating of this cleaning material on the fly line. And we'll pull all this all the way through from one end to the other, then we'll put it back on the reel. Okay, now on our towel with that additional cleaner on there, as you can see, there still was a little bit of dirt in the pores of the fly line. So by pulling this through, this gives it a final cleaning, and now we can take our reel and we can put the fly line back on the reel. It's amazing how much dirt comes off of these lines. Okay, we got all the line back on our reel, and we use mostly large arbor reels because of the take-up speed. So right now we're using Orvis Hydros, and they're phenomenal reels. All the stuff you see, we've paid for. We're not sponsored by any one company. We're just, these are things that we have found over years of use that they just work for us. A little bit about fly lines. You see how we care for them, but let me talk a little bit about fly lines. You got to sit down and ask yourself, what type of fishing do I do? Am I a streamer fisherman? Am I a dry fly fisherman? What do I like to do? Am I going to nymph fish? Do I need one line that'll do it all? Well, lines have become so specialized that you can dial it down to, okay, I'm going to dry fly fish today and fish one line. Okay, I'm going to nymph fish today. I'm going to fish this line. And you have the ability, if you so desire, to take and buy different spools for your reel and put the different lines, your different spools or your different lines on the spools, and then just change the line out during the day. Seems like a lot of work to me, and generally speaking, I don't do that. I might add some additional weight to my leader, maybe lengthen my leader a little bit, even on a floating line, because your float is not going to be that, that long anyway, whether you're casting to the bank from a boat, or whether you're standing in a creek or a river and you're casting upstream, or you're swinging your cast. Whatever it is, look to see how you fish, what you enjoy doing, and based on that, I would purchase line based on that. Then just take care of it. Keep it clean. Store it on the little plastic spool that they give you. That's what it's for. And your line should last you a long time. And also, when you're running the line through your towel, and look at it. Look at it as you pull it through. As you pull it through, when you're looking, you might find nicks in that line. Well, if you do find nicks in that line, a lot of people will trash the line. If you're out fishing, or if you're back at the camp or the hotel or motel or wherever you are, your motor home, wherever you are, and you need to either fix the line or buy a line. Well, lines are expensive. They run these days anywhere from about $69 up to $129, depending on what you buy. You can get some of this ultraviolet sensitive resin and put just a little drop on your line, and just sort of work it in, and take a little ultraviolet flashlight and put it on there, and it'll seal that line up, and you'd be surprised how long that will last. It'll probably get you through the fishing trip that you're on. So that's just a little pro tip for you while we're talking about fly line. All right, there's a few lines that we use on a regular basis. Most of my dry fly lines, in fact, all my dry fly lines now, are weight forward lines. There's two manufacturers, well, there's actually three. Orvis makes a great line, but we're using Scientific Angler's Amplitude weight forward on our 5-weight rods and one of our 6-weight rods. It almost has like a scale in it, but it is so slippery through the guides, it's unbelievable. But it is definitely one of those lines that you're gonna have to clean. Sometimes you could even do it twice a year, it wouldn't hurt, depending on the water quality that you're fishing. If you're fishing gin clear water, it's not as big a problem as you're fishing water that has a stain to it. Now, the other one that is a little less expensive, because the Amplitude is around 129 bucks. It's your local fly shops and Amazon. And the other line that we like is Rio Gold. And it's more of a traditional fly line. You can get it in a double taper, you can get it in a weight forward, either way. And it does a real good job. It's not as slippery as the Amplitude. Of course, then again, it's not as expensive either. Both of them come with a welded loop on the end, which is really, really nice, that you have that welded loop on the end, so that all you got to do is put a loop knot to your leader and tie a fly on and you're fishing. So, and the last thing that I like to do is, if I'm streamer fishing, I'm going to fish a full sink line. I like using a full sink line, or I can use my Rio line, that Rio Gold that I use for dry fly fishing, and I can put a sink tip on it. You can buy sink tips and put that on, and then put your leader on after that, and that'll drop your line down. That's really good for water in the 4 or 5 foot range. So if you want to get right down on the bottom, right where the fish are. So there's a couple things you can try. Check out the Rio Gold and the Scientific Angler's Amplitude, most any of the Orvis lines, but base this on the type of fishing that you do and keep them clean. Well, if you want to get any of these products that we've shown you, Well, we're Amazon associates now, thanks to all of you hitting that like and subscribe button. We appreciate that. Yeah, we get a penny on the dollar or so if anybody buys anything. But what we'll do is we'll put links to all the items that I talked about or showed you in this video, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. In fact, we really hope the reason why we do these videos is so that you can get something out of them, so that you can have an enjoyable experience fly fishing and things work for you. Like I said, we're going to be up on the Missouri this year and on the Madison. If you see us, Herons on the Fly, give us a holler. Glenda and I will be up there casting, and hopefully we'll be catching big fish. But anyway, my name's Mike. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. And all the links for all the products will be somewhere in the text in this video. And please like, share, subscribe, because we are Herons on the Fly.